coming back to that second match? Do you see any changes for India? I mean, the commanding performance, don't tamper with the winning side. But again, you have to keep talking about the fact that it's not just about winning. You want to win, but you are trying things for a good reason, and that's 2019.
You will probably want to continue with the change which they made in this match, which is Kuldeep and Chahal playing together. If they've again made that kind of impact in the middle overs, you would want to continue with that kind of process. The only other change will be possibly debatable is whether you want to try 3 pure bowlers. That's something which team management will be debating on. Apart from that, I don't see any other changes.
So you've been possibly a Vijay Shankar, and then you get in one of the genuine quick bowlers.
Because at the moment you have a batsman at 7, and you've got half a bowler in Vijay Shankar, half a bowler in Kedar Jadhav, hoping they make 1. But you've got a batsman at 7. If you want to play a third seamer, then you've got to say, right, 6 batsmen. You go and win the game for you. Bhu will help around in the 7, and let's try out Khalil or Siraj.
Now, while the next game might be a very important day for India, of course, 26 January, it's going to be important for New Zealand as well. The opposition, they need to come back into this, and of course, not just for the series, but they too, like every other country in the world, are rebuilding and trying to find that 15 or 16 for the World Cup.
They look pretty settled, actually. I think the only person they're missing from this side, they didn't play Colin de Grandhomme today. So if they want to look at Colin de Grandhomme in the side, if they're missing Jimmy Neesham, who played well against Sri Lanka, if they want to try out Ish Sodhi, they have to give Santner as many games as possible. He's come back after a long layoff. So the only question is, will they play someone like an Ish Sodhi for either a Lockie Ferguson or a Tim Southee is something you've got to think, or Doug Bracewell.
Yeah, the Grandhomme has always shown that he is an impact player, and with Neesham not there, they are two very similar players. You'd expect
from New Zealand side, what they'll be thinking about is how to play different phases of the game. I think that the chat will be more around regrouping, getting that confidence going, working together as a team, creating that kind of platform. Because when you play first half of the match so poorly, it's never easy for you to just kind of have a good body language out there or have the positive thinking. So the talk will be more around what kind of approach they should have, how they should play different phases of the game, and particularly your bowlers also need something to play with. So if you're batting first, you got to put up those runs on board, get as close to the pass score as possible, if not over. And if you're bowling first, it's always about keeping that total below par or having that impact early on in the game.
He makes a valid point. Who bails out New Zealand? New Zealand play one-day cricket a lot like England do. They just go. They just keep attacking all the way. Maybe Williamson is just holding it a little bit, but otherwise they're just going go all along because they're used to playing 330, 340 games. So if you're suddenly 50 for 3, then what happens? And they need to get used to playing differently in different phases, I guess. I mean, it's just a thought.
Yeah, but also in terms of playing the spinners, the second number that got defied today, other than our wonderful predictions at the start of the show.
Which were right.
Which we were right, of course, in total number of runs, was the fact that spin doesn't always make an impact in New Zealand. You pointed out, look who's below that, Australia.
And Chahal got wickets there.
Chahal got wickets today, so did Kuldeep Yadav. So there was enough impact from the spinners to suggest that yes, there will be an impact, so enough to think about for New Zealand. How do we take on those 20 overs?
One way to do that is not give wickets in the top 10, and therefore, as he said right at the start, the spinners will bowl differently, and so then tackle the spinners a little bit more. If you're one down when the spinners come on, then the pressure's on the spinners, not on the batsmen.
Australia obviously found a way as time went on. England also, we saw in that summer they had struggled a little bit against spin. But what do you think New Zealand need to do? Because it didn't seem that they weren't able to read Kuldeep Yadav. It's just that one or two of them were even soft dismissals.
You need someone to bat through that phase of the innings. When Kane Williamson was batting, he was easily collecting those 3-4 runs per over. So that's something which you need in that middle over. Those 20 overs which you talk about, 20 overs. If you're just batting 4-5 runs per over, you collect enough runs in that phase, and that's more often than not is more than enough if you have wickets in hand. If you don't have wickets in hand, then that's where the real trouble starts. So to get to that kind of a scenario, which you've seen in the Australian series as well, they've been 50-50 run partnerships. So they've been losing wickets, but they've been losing wickets to calculated risk or to a good ball. So that's something which is very important to build those partnerships in the middle phase. If you look at the first 10 over runs In Australian series as well, it was around 40 runs in the first 10 overs with 2 wickets down. But the important thing is to see off that phase with the calculated risk kind of approach rather than just playing the big shots. Also, the single and doubles matter. It doesn't matter the size of the ground, but the approach has to be focusing more on rotating that strike and then waiting for the loose ball.